There's a pretty good job I get to start on here. What we got is a big piece of cast iron. This is some of that centrifugal cast iron that you can buy. Let's see, it's 17 inches long, 9 inches, well, a little under 9 inches on the OD with a 4-inch ID. And what I got to make is basically this is going to be a big bushing, but like a plain bearing, if you will. I'm not sure exactly what it's for, but it is some type of bushing or a bearing, probably a low RPM application in a high heat environment. So I've got to finish the ID. I believe it's 4 7/16 ID. The OD is going to be 8 1/8, and it's going to be 16 3/16 long end to end. So we're going to set it up over there in the pacemaker to do it. So this stuff right here, you can pick up this kind of material from M&N Metals. They're out in Odessa, Texas, and they have just about any size you can imagine in cast iron and bronze, and they even sell 1045 steel, they sell 4140 steel. They have a lot of stuff out there, but they're a good supplier if you're ever looking for anybody to buy some cast iron or some bronze from. Get in my way. Oh, you're gonna come over here and sling chips at me now?
I think I'm going to powder coat the inside of those wheels too.
Inside of the wheels?
Yeah.
That'll look pretty good.
I think so.
That's how I done them center lines on my Malibu. Look pretty good. It had a polished outside edge on it.
Yeah, that's how I'm going to do. It's not really my thing, but I know that's the new look everybody's going through.
All right.
Well, my plan with that was to make everything stainless steel when I did the original. Like the handlebar risers and all that stuff. And I had those started at Performance, and they're probably still sitting there somewhere.
Yeah.
They were all getting stainless. All stainless nuts and bolts. That's not so easy to do that here, so that's why I bought everything.
I think I might need a little bit bigger hammer. Yep. With this being very oversized, you know, a rough casting, it's not going to hurt it if you hit it with a big, like a ball peen or a sledge type hammer. So, oh, I think I got it a lot closer though. Check that out. I don't even know if y'all could see that. I might have been pointing up too far. That's within a quarter mile. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Okay. Go back to this side. Oh yeah, we're fine. Just get a little preload on it. Alright, so it's about 10, 5, 10. Plenty. So I'm going to take my A-bomb cheater bar, and we need to put a little bit more radius on those handles right there, see? So let's go ahead and do that. Don't take much, just a little. Okay. A little bit high right there, so we'll see if we can move this side in just a bit. That is close enough. Matter of fact, whatever this is run out on this end, we're probably just going to leave it just like it is. Plenty good. There's a lot of metal to come out of that, both the inside and the outside there. Remember, stand your indicators up. Looking good. Alright, we're ready to start cutting iron. Alright, we're going to start off with the face and clean it up. We're going to use this MCK&R tool, the CNNG insert. That particular one there, I always like the way it cuts cast iron, so we're going to try that. And I may go to, on the OD, I might use the brazed on tool. I know the inside I'm going to use a brazed on tool and a 2-inch boring bar. We're not going to take any big giant heavy cut here. We're just going to clean the face up. So here's our fun setup for the bore. Got a 2-inch Loris boring bar. We're using a 1/2-inch square brazed on carbide tool bit. I took a couple and I reground them. There's one right there that I touched up while I was over there, so I'd have a backup in case that one chips. I can just put this one in there and keep going with it. That's something that we probably ought to talk about one day on a video, is grinding these using a carbide grinder. So anyway, I've got the bar sticking out there to where it'll just clear the end right there, come through and clear. We've only got about 5/16 to come out of that bore, but I'm not going to be taking no big heavy cuts. We're going to be taking moderate cuts, maybe 100 thousandths a pass. All right, just not pushing it too hard. I will say that I snugged up the gib on the cross slide a little bit. This machine has got wear in the center, just like most all the older machines do. So I've got it down here towards the center of the travel. So I snugged it up so that we have less of this tilting motion on the cross slide here. So let's go ahead and touch it off and see how it does, okay? All right, not bad. I'm gonna let it make a pass through there, just like it is there. about 2/3 of the way through there. I just wanted to show you, if you look right along that seam right there, you can kind of see the oil kind of bubbling. That's the cross slide raising and lowering onto that surface right there. And that's why I was saying, some cases like this, when you got a lot of overhang, like a long bar, you come in here and you can tighten up this give just a little bit, tighten it up to where you can still slide it back and forth, but snug it so that you don't get, so you eliminate as much of that as you can. Yeah, we got a little bit of wear on the tip, man. That was that old crusty stuff in there is hell on carbide tools. It's still cutting through it. All right, so our target is going to be 4" 440. And I should have, yeah, I was thinking that I was right around 4 3/8. We're right there at it. So I'm going to take another rough cut to get it really close, and then hopefully I can do a light cut, and it'll kind of eliminate some of that. We're getting a little bit of chatter in there, a little bit of vibration, but when we back off and take a light cut, it should make a pretty nice smooth finish down through there. Should be about 20-25 thousandths away of being my target size, so I'm going to use my telescope gauge here and mic to see where I'm at. So this is a Starrett 12" telescope gauge. I got a full set of these. These are very handy to have, a very useful tool to have in your toolbox, and they're not hard to use at all, just like a regular telescope gauge, except it's 12" handle. I believe you can order these from Starrett in different lengths. I believe they have like 6, 8, 10, and 12, possibly even longer. All right, got about 20 thousandths to come out of there. So I'm gonna swap out this tool, even though it's not bad. I'm gonna swap it out. I've already got my other tool. It is a little bad. I know you can't see it on that GoPro because I can't get in there zoomed in on it, but it's got wear on the cutting edge and the corners a little bit rounded off. So I went ahead and went over there and reground this one and honed it. And something that I wanted to talk about, I kind of want to just do it in another video, but whenever you grind these brazed on tool bits, it's best to go to your bench grinder, whatever grinder you use for grinding steel and that kind of stuff. Relieve the soft metal underneath the carbide so that when you go to your green wheel or whatever wheel you use to grind your carbide, you're not grinding all this soft steel with it. And that's how I was taught. You can see I kind of relieve it underneath it at an angle, so you can go over there and grind the end of your carbide, and you're not grinding all this steel underneath of the tool bit. Same thing on this side. If you was to grind this side, you go in there, kind of relieve some of this underneath the edge so that you're not grinding all that steel. So that one's ready to go. That should give me a nice edge to help finish this thing out with. Taking a 10 thousandths cut I'm gonna let that go through there. I slowed the feed rate down. We're running a 10 thousandths feed rate, 115 RPM. I'm gonna let that cut, and we'll retract it and measure it and finish it out. So the dimension that was given to me was 4.440, which is basically clearance for 4 7/16, and a plus tolerance of 5 thousandths. I'm getting exactly 440 right there. I'm going to check it down up in there and see what I'm getting, because it does try to taper just a little bit. I got 443 on the back end, so I got 3 thousandths taper in it. I'm gonna do it one more time just to be sure. .442.5 that time. Okay, so we're within our tolerance on that. I was pretty pleased that I actually hit it right on the opening side right here, the entry side. All right, so our bore's done. Time to move on. We'll need to put a chamfer on there, and I'm going to find another tool bit. We're going to use another brazed on tool bit to turn the OD of this. I went ahead and broke that inside edge with a tool bit, and we're going to move on to our outside. Our OD is going to finish 8 1/8, 8.125. So it looks like we've got about 5/8 of an inch to come off that. Let's see what 100 thousandths looks like. Not too bad. I'm going to go another 50. That's a pretty decent cut there. I think I'm going to leave it just like that. We're going to let her cut. Alright, so I didn't have too good luck with my brazed on tool. There it is there. It burned it up. So it started rubbing. And I heard it as soon as it chipped a little bit of that carbide off there. But what I decided to do, I had my SNMG tool right over here. I mainly use that for chamfering and undercutting. I went ahead and decided to try it. So it's doing really good too. Putting off a nice chip. Let me show you the chip down there. So it's doing pretty good. I guess I'll just keep using that one. I started having problems on the end with that SNMG tool that I was using. It was trying to chatter a little bit and start bouncing off the end. So I'll put my braze tool back in there. I just grabbed one that I already ground up. I was having problems with my brazing on tool again. It just ain't holding up going down there. It breaks away. Just got the wrong grade of carbide. I need something with a lot of abrasion resistance. So I went ahead and changed it back out to my insert tool. I've got another WNMG tool there that's a flat insert made for this kind of material, and bronze, cast, that kind of stuff. And to keep some of you happy, I went ahead and installed my live center there. All right, we're working on our finished cuts now. I'm gonna make that pass, mic it, and then we'll finish it in on the next pass after this. Let's see where we're at. We'll make our final adjustments. All right, 180.5. That ain't too bad at all. Okay, make our final adjustments and we'll make our finish pass. That was our finished cut, and our dimension is 8.125 plus or minus 2 thousandths. Let's see what I hit it at. 8 inches, 0.125 on this end. Eight inches, 0.126. We got 1 thou taper on our finish right there. That's within our tolerance. Good to go. So it's time we need to break this edge. We'll put a chamfer here and flip it around. Clean up this other side. Alright, we're going to get this thing indicated back in, and after I had taken the strap off, what I've done is I took my nylon hammer and I've tapped the end of it to try to make sure that it's seated against the face of the chuck as best I could. So, but what we're going to do is indicate it, do a 2-point indicating, and make sure that it's running concentric. Alright, so we've got 1/8 of an inch run out, 120 thou. Start with the high. Make sure that it's not loose, and then you get to the low. That's 1 thou. what we'll do is move down. We'll go ahead and get this one true because it's going to move around some. 6.5 thou. One thou. Alright. I'm going to move back to this end and indicate this one in, come back down here. I'm going to keep doing that until I get this thing running completely concentric. It'll probably take me maybe 3 times of doing that. Alright, that's less than 2 thousandths now on this other end. I ended up going back and forth a total of 4 times. It's only taken me just a few minutes here. So we've got it within a 0.5 thousandths run out. I don't know if you guys can see that or not because of the reflection. It's just flickering. See if you can see it better there. All right, we'll move it down here to this end. Same thing. Less than a 0.5 thou run out, so we're running pretty good now. Give it the old spin check and see. Yeah, it looks close enough. All right, you guys can take a breath now. Rest a little easier. We're putting our steady rest on it. I'm just doing this to make sure that there's no chips, any of the fine matter that's getting caught up on those rollers there. All right, we got a little bit of pressure. The bottom two's already set and locked. Now I just need to find a guard to put on there to try to protect the chips and hopefully not damage that surface. So it is a little bit of stick out, but the reason I'm doing the steady rest this time is because the chuck jaws are only catching a small area of it, you know, with those brass. The way that I was holding it before, the serrations on those jaws really bite in and hold really good. So not much worry about it trying to move around. With this setup right here, it can move around pretty easy. There's a chip guard I found that I had cut to 8 1/4, so it just did fit on there. I went ahead and just split it and put it on there, and I just used a couple magnets to hold it in place. That should work pretty good there. Try to eliminate the chips from going in there, but you still have to deal with, sometimes they'll pop up and then go in behind it, but this will catch most of them here. Using our tape here tells us that we got approximately 1 inch to come off the end of this, and I tried to set it up so that I could turn and bore that, or I already bored it, but turn it and have it past where it needs to be faced, but I didn't feel good about chucking just a little bit of that, so we're going to have to face it, and then there's going to be a little area here that I got to turn down to the same diameter. That's an 1/8 of an inch we're facing off there. So how are you going to measure the end length, total end to end? Good question. I don't know either. Here's an idea I got. Stick our veneers in there. Let's see here. It's kind of tricky getting it squared up. Come on, lock it first. But because it's difficult to hold the back of the caliper square, I'm going to do a reading like this. Instead of trying to pull it out and cocking it and moving it, I'm just going to read it, do a direct reading right here. $250, $60, $70. Looks like 275. Looks like the 25 is lined up there. So 16 inches, 275 is what I'm going to call it. Just for conversation purposes, if you wanted to, you could use a depth gauge against the face here and run it out to the face of the four-jaw chuck. But the thing you got to be careful about is that this face may not be butted completely up against the chuck down there, so you may be getting an error if you do it that way. I got our end link done using my vernier calipers. I measured 16.189, and considering that the print called out a fractional dimensional length of 16 3/16, I figured 2000s is close enough, right? That should put us within the ballpark. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and move to this OD. Once I get this turned down, this will be it. Turn this down, chamfer the OD, the ID, and this job will be done. I don't want to overdo it. I don't want to take a big gigantic cut, because that cut will pull this part out of those jaws with it just being held with brass shims. We've still got about 23 thousandths to come off the OD there. I was just checking the run out. Looks like we're 2 or 3 tenths run out, so that's pretty good. We're going to make a couple finishing passes here to get it down to size. All right, let's see. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 thousandths is what we need to dial in. I'm just seeing where we're at. Let me check that again. It's 4, 9, 10, 11, 12. I also want to watch it and see if it blends in right here. Okay, here we go. It's 10. There's 11. There's 12. It's just touching it. Okay, about a half thou over what I mic'd right here. That's pretty good. We're probably gonna do some blending on this with the belt sander, especially since this end right here was 1 thou over anyway. We got a little bit of room to work. I did hear a couple of the real fine chips get in the rollers, so we'll probably do some blending down here on this end. I'll do my chamfers, and then we'll move the steady rest out of the way and give a little polish. It's just a fine wore out belt here just to kind of give it a polish. We about got a wrap on this one. If you remember, I turned it to 8 inches 126 right down here on this end. Alright, this is the end that we just turned, the little stored end. 8 inch 126 as well. So we got her blended really good there. We're within our tolerance everywhere we need to be. So this one's finished up. I'm getting ready to take it out and put it on a pallet and ship it out of here.